Hello and welcome to Age of Empires 2 HD. I do understand that this video is perhaps a little bit late, but I wanted to make a small short video just basically giving you my impressions and first sort of ideas and thoughts about the game so far. There's been a lot of talk about it being bad or being good or whatever you've heard. Perhaps it's not quite what I would make of it, at least. But I'm going to go ahead and show a few things off. I know I've already done a little bit of a first look in my live stream, but I know not many people really got to see that, so I'm going to do a video on it about now. So first of all, really not a lot has changed fundamentally. If you have a look, that the start screen, it's very similar. In fact, it's pretty much identical apart from the banner at the back here. But first of all, what I'm going to do is have a look at the single player, because I have actually added a couple of mods from the Steam Workshop to make the game look a little bit different and look very pretty. So far I've just set up this little game. It's me, Huns, versus 7 other computer players. There's actually an achievement for defeating 7 other players. But aside from what we already have, if we have a quick look here, the population goes up to 500 by standard. I think there's a workshop mod that you can install that allows you to go up to 1,000, and every other setting is exactly the same. What I'm going to do is I'll choose coastal, I think, and I've got it on explored because I want you to be able to see what I've done with the workshop mods that I've installed. I'm going to start a game real quick. I know this is just against AIs, I'm not actually going to play properly, but as you can see, the terrain has changed massively, and I have managed to get Pussywood installed on this game so far. So that is pretty good. The workshop does obviously seem to be allowing you to update and do things that you really want to do. I've changed the icons back to the originals because these have been updated to different icons in the actual HD version itself without the update. I've obviously put Pussywood back on so you can see gold that are behind trees and such, and I've updated the textures so that the terrain looks much nicer. The water has changed slightly, and generally it looks very pretty. Now I've added these mods. The mods can be added really easily from the Steam Workshop. If you guys are having any trouble with updating mods from the Steam Workshop, then do leave comments below and I will let you I will make a video explaining exactly how to do that and showing you how to install the mods on the game. But with the mods, it does look very nice. But what have you guys been hearing about the release so far? Well, the single player typically works very well. It works fine, which is really good. There's a couple of bugs. I'm sure you can see one there with the Scout Cavalry. The idle animation is a little bit broken. But the main bug that people seem to have been having so far is frame lag and frame drops when there's a lot going on the screen. And as far as I know, the developers are working very hard to fix that, and as soon as that's fixed, I think that will be the majority of the problems sorted for single player at least. Single player seems to be working very well indeed, and if you want to play single player or against AIs or do the campaigns or whatever, then you should have no problems whatsoever. But we're going to quit out of this now. I'm going to have a look at multiplayer. So multiplayer is integrated into the game from the start screen, and in my opinion, so far this has been done pretty badly. Right now, I would still recommend playing at Voobly or Game Ranger rather than using the in-game multiplayer, which is sad because obviously you can't play Age of Empires 2 HD over at Game Ranger or at Voobly, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But hopefully the devs will actually update and improve the multiplayer, as in my opinion there are quite a few problems with it at the moment. Let's have a quick look though at exactly what we've got here. We've got Quick Match, which allows you to quickly start a game. I'll look at that very shortly because I think that's one of the most broken things, to be honest with you. We've got the lobby browser, which is going to take us to the lobby browser, and you can see current games. There's not really many here, and as far as I know, this is actually region locked, so it's only going to show games that are actually close to you, which is a little bit disappointing to say the least, and I hope that they un-region lock it, I suppose you could put it that way. so that you can see games from all over the world rather than the games that are really close to you. As you can see, there's really not that many here, whereas right now there's probably, I think, 5,000 to 8,000 people playing Age of Empires 2 HD. So I think that's one of the problems with the lobby browser. But as far as it goes as creating a lobby, you have to exit the lobby browser and click Create. You can change whether you want it for friends to be private or keep it as public, and it takes you into a lobby which can then be accessed from the lobby browser. You obviously have all of your standard settings over here on the right. Not much has changed there at all. There's also an invite button down here where you can invite your Steam friends, and you can obviously access your Steam overlay by pressing Shift and Tab, and you can sign into your friends list and invite people who you have already on Steam. But let's have a quick look at the quick match. I think this is one of the biggest issues at the moment. Quick match is very sort of implemented badly in my opinion. First of all, you choose the game type that you want, and you have the option out of all of these, and as far as I know, these are all ranked on the same ladder, which is obviously a little bit wrong. But let's, for the sake of demonstration, use random map. We'll say that we want to do it as a 1v1. I'm not really sure how many players are involved in a free-for-all, but 1v1. And this is where it gets a bit weird. You choose your civilization before you actually play. So let's just choose, let's choose Mayans actually. Not that I'm going to play a game at all, but it's kind of odd, I think, that you change your civilization before, because obviously, you're going to get put up with people who aren't going to be choosing the same civs. And then you click, and my game crashed when I clicked quick match, and that wasn't the first time that's happened either. It does seem to crash quite often when you're trying to search for a quick match, but hopefully it will actually work this time without crashing. I'm going to not choose a civilization for the sake of demonstration here, and click quick match. Fingers crossed it actually works. There we go. It's created a quick match, and it's put me into a lobby. Now, I think the biggest issue with this at the moment is the fact that the options and the settings on the right are set up slightly wrong. By default, the size of the map is small, aka 3-player, rather than tiny 2-player, which is exactly what it should be played on. And it's not possible to actually change this either if you're using the quick match setting or the option. The game speed is also set to fast by default, which again is wrong. It should be set to normal by default for random maps. But of course, if you're choosing to play as a deathmatch game from the quick match option, then game speed is also going to be set to fast, which is right. So I think that there's a problem there, because first of all, the settings are wrong for different game types. Also, for instance, if you're playing Black Forest on location, the standard is for the map to be revealed, but you can't actually change the options there. So in my opinion, that's quite a large issue, and I think the multiplayer should be done slightly different when trying to do a quick match. I understand that they do have to have certain restraints and restrictions in order to make the games more even and fair in a sense, but at the same time, at least get those settings standard as the community already plays them, so that it's done the right way in a sense. I don't know how long it's actually going to take for someone to join. I'm not even sure if this lobby shows up in the lobby browser, but one thing is for sure, when someone does join, I don't know if it actually ranks them or puts someone with me who is in range of my ELO, my rating, which I can't actually see. I'll talk about that in a moment. But when they do join, it's impossible for me to actually see their level. They could be completely noob, they could be really good, but how do I know that? I have no clue who I'm going up against. But I think that's probably a good thing, as long as as long as the people who join your lobby on quick join are within a certain rating of you, or in a certain band of your rating. There is actually a rating system, however it's impossible to actually see your current rating. If you hover over your global rank up here, it says I'm ranked 81,349th. If you hover over that, it says rank max victories 4 out of 5. Well, that's the thing, I haven't actually played 5 games, and I certainly haven't won 4 out of the 5 of them if I haven't actually played 5. So it does make me wonder for a second, what does this mean, 4 out of 5 rank match victories? How is my global rank calculated? As far as I know, you can play a game in the lobby browser against a computer, and if you win, you will still gain ELO and gain ranking. So I think that's a little bit broken, and I don't know if anyone out there understands how this system is actually working at the moment. But one thing is for sure, it's certainly not how it should be, especially due to the fact that you can change your game type and you can play against AIs and still get experience and points on a ladder, and there's only one ladder. So that's a little bit confusing. I mean, you can't really put a top DM player on the same level as a top RM player because they're two different game modes, yet in this system they would all be ranked on the same ladder. So hopefully the devs do look at that and sort of improve and implement a better multiplayer functionality. But other than the multiplayer, the single player is excellent in my opinion. And as soon as the FPS issues get sorted, it should be really fun to play. As far as options goes, everything is exactly the same as in the original. My one other gripe though is that there is no option to change your resolution in game. Your resolution in game will be the same as your desktop resolution, and therefore if you wanted to change your resolution in game, you'd have to change your desktop resolution in order to achieve that. In my opinion, there should be an option to change your resolution in game. I'm sure a lot of people think the same as well. But other than that, all the other options are the same. But hopefully I've not blabbed on for too long. I didn't want to make this video too long to begin with, because I do want to keep it short and sweet about my opinions on this game. Obviously, you know, I hope you do go out and purchase this and the issues do get fixed, and hopefully in the future Age of Empires 2 HD on Steam will be the place and the way to play Age of Empires. We can only hope. But thanks very much for watching, guys. As I said earlier, if you do have any questions or any queries about how to install workshop mods, then please do leave a comment below. But other than that, I will see you next time.